plays a crucial role in post-election matters. Although many new political parties nominated candidates for the 2019 elections, the polls were largely a contest between the incumbent All Progressive Congress and the People's Democratic Party. The APC hoped to renew the mandate of President Muhammadu Buhari and consolidate its majority in the National Assembly and governorship. However, the party faced internal wrangling and defections of some key figures in the months to the polls. The PDP fielded former Vice President Atiku Abubakar as its standard bearer and entering the process for the first time as an opposition party challenged the APC record, claiming the ruling party not kept its campaign promises to fight corruption, improve security, and boost the economy, the report said. The IRI NDI observation mission said that the 2019 elections did not meet the expectations of many Nigerians. On security and election-related violence, the report said ahead of the 2019 polls, the poor security situation in Nigeria, mainly attributed to Boko Haram's resurgence in the northeast, intercommunal violence in the Middle Belt, and widespread crime and banditry, raised concerns about the safety of voters and candidates. Increased politically motivated violence and conflict in pre-election period was also a concern, especially around political party primaries in some areas. The report further stated that for many Nigerians, the 2019 elections, the sixth since the country's 1999 transition back to civil democratic rule, was an opportunity to consolidate democratic gains and build on sound electoral practices. Significant improvements in the administration of the 2012 and 2015 elections boosted expectations in the 2019 electoral process. Moreover, Nigeria's first peaceful transfer of power between political parties following the 2015 elections underscored for Nigerians that credible elections matter, the report said. The joint report further said that the last-minute postponement of the presidential and National Assembly elections on February 16th showed that INEC had underestimated challenges associated with the administration of the elections. According to the report, the Commission did not communicate sufficiently with political parties and the public about election preparations. Such a late postponement likely depressed voter turnout and created confusion about the duration of candidates and party. All right, Commander, what are your thoughts here?
Well, it's expected that different monitoring groups will be coming up to give their reports on this particular 2019 election. I think I maintain my stance that elections in Nigeria have always been rigged, massively rigged. It depends on the one that rigged more than the other, and then will be declared. That has been the character of politicians in this country. So if 2019 is seen by this NDI, is it a NDI and the IRI or so, as not meeting the expectations of Nigeria? So it is their report. Now, I think what in the months to come, perhaps, we'll be seeing other ones if they will agree to turn in their own reports. It is at the end of it, if all the monitoring agencies or so, or monitoring groups, turn in their reports about 2019 election, if they are, let's say, 20, and then 11 says it didn't meet the expectations of Nigeria, nobody has a right to talk about any other thing again. That will be the poll, the acceptable one. But all the elections in this country have followed the same trend. It doesn't matter. So this 2019 own is not it. Because if you ask, where around this country, where did NDI and IRI cover to say, generalize it that didn't meet the expectations of Nigerians? I don't always like generalities. I love particularities. So if you are making a statement going with generalities, I will say, okay, that's your opinion. I won't stand in your way, though.
All right, okay, what do you think?
I think these are reports of independent observers and monitors of the elections. And I believe, as a member of the development sector, that a lot of these people deployed both personnel and financial resources to monitor these elections that took place in Nigeria during this 2019 electoral year very well. And I believe that they had representatives around the country, just like the European Union that just gave their report days back also did. And I also, as well, work with some of them here in Port Harcourt to, when they were monitoring the election. So I believe that whatever they may have said, they didn't just say them because they wanted to say. It is some of the things they saw and observed from the field. Now it is left for INEC and some other independent observer to say, this is true, this is not true. But the bottom line of everything is that the recommendations from these various monitoring and, monitoring agencies and observation missions is for them to look at the recommendations and improve on future elections to avoid these issues of massive rigging, violence, inability to circulate electoral materials to electoral booths and polling units and what have you. We have to learn from the past if we want to move forward.
All right, okay, we got your thoughts. What do you think?
Well, I think the reports so far from EU and these two US institutes has really vindicated some of us who said that election was highly manipulated. The issue that whether they were in all the states or the federation is not what we're discussing. They were all present in all the distance, because if you see how they organized themselves in that election, EU had certain states where these institutes also would not go. They also have certain states, and they also the civil liberty organization led by Clement Wanko, but they also have their staff in all the units. I remember of one young man who appeared in one radio program with me that period. He showed me a device. He said it's a monitor. That, do you know that if you're in a particular unit, you see what technology does? Immediately you are not there at the particular, they will call you that they are not seeing you where you are supposed to be. So, in other words, they deployed the technology to monitor this election in almost all the states or the federation. But whatever it is, especially the presidential election, I witnessed that INEC was very partisan in that election, and they have continued to remain partisan even right at the tribunal level. INEC that's supposed to show neutrality.
Okay, we've gotten your thoughts. It's not we wanted you to just get your thoughts.
Me.
No, not your views about INEC
okay.
now. What yours had to do with the report from IDI and IRI, that's all.
The report now shows that the election, the declaration of President Buhari, based on that election, was highly flawed, manipulated. And in fact, all the reports say that they were marked by irregularities.
All right, then. Thank you very much. Like, Emmanuel.
Has there been any time this European Union and other monitoring groups, after election, come out in this country and say the elections meet all standards?
Okay.
It has never been.
Okay, well, moving forward.
Put me differently.
Moving forward, let's get to another story in this day newspaper. Buhari meets APC governors. That's from this day newspaper. Says President Muhammadu Buhari on Tuesday in Abuja met with all Progressive Congress governors in the state. Present at the meeting was the chairman of Nigeria's Governors Forum, Kayode Fayemi of Ekiti State, Yahya Bello Kogi, Godwin Obaseki Edo State, Dapo Abiodun Ogun State, Baba Gana Zulum of Borno, Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos, Abdullahi Ganduje of Kano, Simon Lalong of Plateau, Boyega Oyetola of Oshun, Maimala Buni of Yobe, Abdurrahman Abdurazak of Kwara, Abdullahi Suli of Nasarawa State. Also present were Atiku Bagudu of Kebbi State, Abubakar Badaru of Jigawa, Abubakar Bello of Niger, Munir Yakubu, Deputy Governor of Katsina, and Hadiza Balarabe, Deputy Governor of Kaduna. The meeting was also attended by the Secretary of the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, and Chief of Staff, Abakari Obasaki said the Christian prayer, while Zulum said the Muslim prayer. From what extras that we got from that, it was just, to form a synergy. And the governors particularly said they're looking at where the state can work more closely with the federal government. Nothing new, nothing...
Yeah, I think it's a good one. Synergy is better than being differently. So what else is expected? This kind of gathering should even happen more and more so that people will know or understand that unity. There is strength, I always say, in unity.
All right, then. What do you think?
It's good for them to meet. I think this could be the very first time they are all gathering after they took oath of office to protect lives and properties in their various states and give the people dividends of democracy. So they should discuss, rub minds together and see what they can do to make a difference from what they did before they took these new offices.
Okay, what about you, Obedimo?
And you see, we are running a very ugly system in this country. I wonder, I've never witnessed when governors in United States go to White House from time to time to meet the president. It's because the system is bad, it's flawed. That every time governors will gather as if the president is an emperor. Instead of them pushing for the restructuring of this country, you are talking of synergy on what? What has that synergy benefited us these years? We should pull away from this kind of primitive kind of government. Every time, governors will gather, especially the ruling party governors will gather to go and see president, one thing or the other, even praising him what is not even on the ground, telling him how he has done security so far and all those kind of things. When people are dying every day, I don't think this government have anything. They don't have work to do. If not, you can't leave your state from time to time. You are running to Abuja to do what? To beg? What are you begging? I remember in Second Republic when NPM was at the helm of Center of Affairs in this country. Someone like Dimo Governor Sam Bakwe. Sam Bakwe had even UPN governors. They don't even go to Lagos to go and see Sagari. Because that is what true federalism ought to be. So are you going there, you talking, praising him for parish fund, this as if it is personal money. You praising him for releasing money, 3 trillion, this thing for infrastructure, as if it is personal money. Is it not what's supposed to do? Is it not budgeted? So we should begin to kind of look at this in the way, in a civilized manner that it ought to be.
All right.
I wonder how many times, even mayors in the UK go to see the prime minister.
Well, if you don't know if you don't know the numbers, you have to find out how many times they go to see.
You see, I think I have to disagree with my friend Obidime. See, governors come. Oftentimes we praise this one, praise that one, and isolate some others, we won't praise them. All the praises given to them is because of what we are seeing they are doing, which of course is their constitutional right to do. But you cannot say because it is their what about those ones you are not praising? Who didn't do anything? Should we kill them? No. And so the ones you've seen that performed his right, you praise him. If you now give me something I desire, I will thank you, because you can also say you won't give me that.
We need restructuring.
That is the way it is. So I don't.
This kind of master-slave relationship should end.
Well, if you need restructuring, I would think that one of the important things was that since you have representatives now, is that you start pushing them to push for that.
I'm doing that.
All right, good.
I'm doing that. I've even suggested to
that'll be the first thing. But unless that is done, you expect that governors will continue to meet. And they will meet in any kind of forum.
Any kind of meeting is not moving this nation forward.
That's what you can. Unfortunately for you, they will continue to meet because they form different structures of government. And they will continue to meet even when you restructure. It doesn't mean that because they're restructuring, they will never meet with the government at the center.
Yeah, it's not like, how many times do you see governors go to White House?
How many times have they gone there now?
Are you living there?
No, hold on. Wait, you're saying how many times? How many times have they gone there?
In fact, this group went now APC. Tomorrow now,
how many times? I have asked a question.
To move to that place.
No, you're just making a ruckus out of the issue. How many times have they gone as APC governors to meet him now?
And it was not like that before. Maybe you are not born that time.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
Did you see the politics of Second Republic?
That is a lie.
They have to continue meeting. They have to continue discussing, because from each of these discussions,
that's a lie.
Latest development is being arrived at. Stopping the governors from meeting because their meeting is not bringing anything is like stopping us from coming to studio to sit down here and analyze these issues. So we must continue to push and continue to discuss, because it is from those discussions and those meetings that development comes.
I see. My point is that I will agree if the meeting is not bringing anything fundamental, and you say we don't appreciate the meetings are not bringing the change we desire. If you have that audience with the president, we expect that as your people that you represent, you're able to push for this.
Exactly.
But that to say that no, the meetings are uncalled for, absolutely
not. There's a forum created, the Council of State. where the president
And
and,
so
the
the
governors
only
and
time you should
ex-president
meet
will
is at
meet
Council
and
of State.
critical look.
And you mean
on
the only
certain
time
things.
they should get to meet is at Council
Huh?
of State?
Is
Aside
it,
that, they should not go out of their time.
They should go and they
You are
do
making a
something
political argument.
meaningful
That's
in
all.
their state.
Let's move on.
It's not political
That's all.
argument.
Let's
It is.
move on. I
Parties
noticed.
issue.
I noticed anytime he's made a very corny comment, that's when he knows he wants to drink water. Did you notice?
And after I finish drinking water, now you take your coffee.
Oh my god! All right, let's leave up with him now, please. So just let's leave up with him. Obito just wants to drag this issue. Federal Ministry stopped us from fixing a Papa Road. That's from NPA. That was in the Punch newspaper. I don't know. I've been trying to get that story. It's either the Punch doesn't want me to read that story or there's just something wrong. I can't seem to access it. Okay, so there it is now. Finally, we have here that the General Manager, Corporate and Strategic Communications, NPA, Jato Adams, said NPA had indicated willingness to fix some parts of the road leading to the port. In a social media comment, Adams had said that when they had when they were approached about the terrible state of that road and what the NPA was doing about it, they had sent a team out to review and see what can be done. But in trying to progress further, well, let me read it this way. It says, NPA expressed concern over the difficulties suffered by port users and various losses they incurred as a result of the poor state of the roads leading to the largest ports in West Africa. He said, while this incident is regrettable, it is on record that the present administration of the Nigerian Ports Authority under the leadership of Hadiza Bala Usman had before now written series of letters to the Federal Ministry of Works, Power and Housing to hand over the port access of the road to NPA for complete reactivation at NPA, cost to no avail. It took the personal intervention of the MD to involve Dangote and flour mills with NPA counter funds to reconstruct the Wharf Road from Leventis to Apapa Port. The NPA is not unmindful of the havoc and damage this road is causing the port operations and the revenue loss, albeit the sufferings, the port users. But as stated, the management is handicapped and not that nothing is being done. So they wrote letters to the Ministry of Works, Power and Housing and asked that road be allowed or given to the NPA to fix.
Yeah, I think the MPA has not done all it could. Because if you've written series of letters as they've stated, and then Ministry of Power,
Works
and Housing says no, so you leave it, and then you'll be suffering that problem as you are doing.
The more they do.
Good, they can go to court. Yes, they can go to court and then challenge that Ministry of Housing, Power, and whatever, and tell them that look at the losses we're incurring, and the vehicles of port users are being damaged every day, this and that, and then let's hear what the court will say.
Right.
How can, because you remember, governors can prepare a federal rules and then go for reimbursement.
Well, usually in agreement with the federal government.
Yes, but when this, okay, now until people start dying there, the Ministry of Housing will keep quiet and be watching. No, I don't think so.
All right, let me hear your thoughts here.
I think they need to add every organization, every company, every department, agencies of government, they need to add a little activism in their approach to getting problems solved.
Yes.
If they have taken steps to fix that road and they have written two letters, the third one is even far because I work with 3 C's. You consult, you consolidate before you confront. Haven't exhausted the letter writing and nothing is happening. After the third letter, you go to the media. The media are our development partners. You inform the media, this is what we want to do. The suffering you are suffering today is because they have refused us to do this. Now, take for instance, if they have to wait for the federal government, like they have waited over the years, see the suffering they are having now. The same thing happened in Rivers State. When a lot of federal roads within the states the state was bad, Amici at the time had to fix some of them. Even when they refused to even refund something, he left office. But those roads would have remained bad till today. Now we are having one very terrible one that is still left, the Port Harcourt-Aba Express Road leading to Yibo. I believe, because I'm seeing some level of work there now, I could think that maybe the Rivers State government is beginning to do something there again. So I think that those who are suffering, who know that their citizens or their customers are suffering as a result of a particular road, they should do something about it. And when the government refuses to give them that authorization, they should go to the media and then push for that to happen.
All right then.
It's already in the media now.
It's coming now.
Well, I guess maybe when the several efforts were not fruitful, as Emmanuel was saying, they should have gone to court. You're also saying at that time they should have approached the media. All right.
Well, my take on this is that federal government should take steps to revive all other ports in this country. Lagos port is not the only port in this country, and to the outside world today, it's like that is the only port in this country, and we know that what is happening in that port, billions of naira is being lost every month as a result of that gridlock. And anytime task force, clear, even right from the time of Okonjo-Iweala, know when she also gave that kind of directive. They must clear. And we are still clearing up to today. And nothing is happening. What other ports are neglected? Sometimes, we say, Lagos IGR is so huge and all those things. It's because of the resources that they are monopolizing. In this country, the federal government have allowed them to monopolize. Most companies are moving to Lagos not because of insecurity or whatever. It's because of maybe this issue, access to the port for their goods when it comes to, because to bring their goods from Lagos to this place, a lot of things will happen.
There are so many companies I know that don't need the ports that are in Lagos.
No. A lot
I said there are so many I know who are in Lagos that don't need the ports.
There are a lot of them that need the ports.
There are so many banks who I know that their headquarters is in Lagos.
Yeah, you see, the point there is that there are so many banks that their headquarters is in Abuja.
No.
I don't understand.
No, Annie is pushing me to where I'm not going. So I want
you don't even have a destination.
So what I'm trying to say is that let them revive Port Harcourt Port. Let them revive Warri Port. They can even create another port in Lokoja.
Okay, the point here has been NPA said they were trying to fix.
Simple.
And they said that the federal ministry has refused them. Could you stick to that issue, please?
I'm expanding it.
Don't.
So the point there is
that is not your job here on newspaper review.
There is no time. We have been hearing this. It's a sing song. We have been hearing it from time to time that they are fixing. Even if they fix any road, the problem will still remain. That congestion will still remain.
I doubt if the congestion will remain if the roads are fixed. You haven't seen the road.
Was it like that? How many years back?
Mbolu Road.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it not because of the nature now that you see hold up there? Or is it that one is bigger than hold up? It's gridlock. It's true.
You and Danny don't pass that road.
Yes. Because you know the road that he and I pass, Abi. You are monitoring our movements. Please, I beg of you to believe me. Let me see if we can take a few stories from the Vanguard newspaper. I haven't been able to get most stories this morning. The papers are a bit, I don't know, must be network or something. UN decries use of children as human bombs by Boko Haram. That's in the Vanguard newspaper. Extreme poverty in Nigeria gives me sleepless night. Oshibajo is the one speaking there. You find that in the Vanguard newspaper. Extreme poverty in Nigeria gives me sleepless night. And then Governor Pools, we will beat APC silly in Bayelsa and Kogi. Akiwumi, PDP Deputy National Chairman. This is the one speaking. I like the silly. We'll beat APC silly.
I hope it will
in
just
Bayelsa and
Kogi. Tools.
And then he says here, court restrains Ganduje's Anti-Corruption Commission from taking action against Emir Sanusi. That's also in the Punch, Vanguard newspaper. Thugs beat up Oshiomole and others. You have details to that story in the Vanguard newspaper. Obi must apologize to Amechi over Igbo presidency, or this is coming from IYM. And then quit if you don't have capacity to govern Nigeria. Catholic bishop tells Buhari, quit if you do not have capacity to govern Nigeria, Catholic bishop tells Buhari. Very quickly now, from extreme poverty gives me sleepless nights. That's from Oshibanjo. That story is in the Vanguard newspaper. Oshibanjo disclosed this at a dinner, an interactive session with faculty members, Harvard Business School, on Tuesday in Lagos. The vice president featured alongside Sirikan Datta, professor of business administration, and Bayo Gunlesi, a Nigerian investment banker, at a question and answer session moderated by Hakim Bello Sage, chairman of Metis Capital Partners. BUK Futo gets, and he says, I think what keeps me up at night has to do with extreme poverty. The issue is that the largest number of those who vote for us are the very poor. The promises that government makes to them is that their lives will be better, and obviously they're looking at their lives getting better in the shortest possible time. I would like to see Nigeria being an industrialized nation in the next 10 years, a very strong middle class, and most people living above poverty line. Oshibanjo said that a lot of government policies were taking into account people at the bottom of the pyramid, with a focus on agriculture and getting credit facilities to farmers in order to achieve self-sufficiency. You can't sleep at night because of extreme poverty.
Yeah, I think I'm seeing that. Seeing that on him, maybe he's leaning. And so it shows that he's working so hard. But I must also tell you, on the other hand, I think I'm happy that he knows that there's extreme hunger. Is it poverty, he said, or is it extreme, there's some extreme poverty or hunger,
poverty.
whichever. Good. I'm happy that he is the second highest personage in government, and he understands that there's extreme poverty. And I think not speaking much grammar on this, what should be done so that Nigeria is pulled out of that poverty.
All right. Fine face to the man.
Yeah, talking about the fact that he can't sleep because of extreme poverty, I think they are not determined to create jobs, or simply not working hard enough to create jobs. Like the issue we just discussed now about the Apapa, Grimlock, and what we have in Lagos. I think there are other ports that have been developed in this country. If we have those ports working, I believe that the pressure on that road will reduce, because even when that road is fixed, it won't take more than 3-4 years from then for the road to get back bad again because of the pressure on that road. So I think there are a lot of things to do. If we look inwards, we can create jobs for people in this country, and even have other people coming in to look at it. The president, from my own, although I'm not a university don, if I were to be a university don in one of these foreign universities, the comparison I did, bringing his 2016 picture and 2019 picture to say that the president was adding weight, would have been something that would have been everywhere, higher than how it went. But the fact remains that there is nothing to show in the body of the president that is unable to sleep because Nigerians are extremely.
Vice President.
I mean, the vice president.
Real quickly as we have to wrap up.
Well, when you talk of industrializing the country in the next 10 years, you ask the question, is there any plan in place to kickstart that now presently? No. So all these rhetorics, we are really tired of them. If they cannot walk the talk, they should allow Nigerians to have peace. I was so surprised a few days ago when MBS released the inflation rate, the food inflation. I was so surprised that it's higher in Kebbi State and Kaduna. I said, the people, they said they produce rice and everything, that are feeding Nigeria with rice, that inflation rate is higher, poverty is higher in the north. Inflation higher in the north. Most of the states they mentioned are northern states that are higher inflation this thing, food inflation. So you begin to wonder, are we really living and eating propaganda in this country? So let Oshibanjo, he's the vice president of this country. He's the head of the economic team, economic council.
All right.
Let them do something and stop all this rhetoric that is taking us to nowhere.
All right, we heard you. Thank you so much. We've got to wrap up on this here. Coming up at the top of the hour 9 is the news update.
Has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
So it's 57 after 8 o'clock, and I have Odibola here with me. I've got Joy Horsford representing Odibola. Joy Horsford, good to have you. Go ahead.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, Port Harcourt. Today is a little bit of investment details I'll give to you all out there. When you're buying a property, you want to get something affordable. And I want to talk to you about three of our properties which are very much affordable for now, but will give you a very high returns in future. When I say in future, in the next 2 to 3 years or 4 years, depending on how long you can keep your property to appreciate. Now we have the Treasure View layout. Treasure View layout is just off Igrutali School Road, close to our Quiet Heaven Phase 1 property. Now the Treasure View layout is going for 800,000 naira now, and it's a property that I would say you would have 10 times what you're spending presently in the next 4 years because of its location. Now, it's not so close to the airport, but is in a position where there are several real estate properties where if today you're even leasing out your property, in the nearest future you could lease it out for millions. If you're getting it now at just 800, and if you're getting more than a plot or two, you're getting a very huge discount, because this is a property we're encouraging a lot of persons to buy as much as possible. So in future they could resell, they can build hotels or different kind of structures on it that would help people around that environment. Now we have another property which is the Quiet Heaven layout phase 1, which is just by the same Treasure View layout. Now that Quiet Heaven phase 1 is so unique because it's the only property along that particular major road, that Igrutali School Road, that has the industrial and the commercial area. Now imagine a property that has an industrial area. Imagine what will come out of that property in the next 2 to 3 years. Now that property is located on a major road that Greater Port Harcourt City is constructing themselves. The school road and the road leading all the way to Choba and different angles, different areas of the airport environment. It's close to the airport too, but it's a place where you can buy as much as 4 to 6 plots to build in the next future or to sell. Even if you're giving that your 4 plot for leasing, you're making a lot of money out of it because it is the only layout, the only place that has an industrial setup, just like Transamadi today, just like Stadium Road today. So if you're buying a property there at a rate of 1 million naira, you're getting so much out of your property. That is another property we have you can invest on now. And we also have our Skyview layout. Now Skyview layout is unique because it has a very beautiful link road from the airport straight to Omagwa, or the one leading straight to Choba or Alo. We have that property situated where there are a lot of residents already there. In the next 1 to 2 years, if you don't want to build and stay there, you can resell this property, and it's going for 900 now. And you can do the pay small package with this particular property. Now these are affordable properties which you can invest in and reap a lot from it later in future. So this Skyview layout is going for 900,000 if you're paying outright. But if you're taking more than a plot, we're giving you a beautiful discount from this property, and you can just pay a down payment of 350,000 and get your property document, meaning you get a survey plan to start developing this property, just paying 350,000. Now after that down payment, you have just 600,000 left. Now what will happen is, in this 600,000 you can spread it for as long as 4 years. For 4 years, you can be paying this little amount, like 12,500 or 50,000, 30,000, as you can carry. That's of much convenience in owning a property with Odibola. So that is what we're encouraging you all there to do. Come now, we have affordable properties which you might not even want to build now, but tomorrow it will yield millions for you. That is what they call real estate investment. That is what they call land banking. So you come to our office, like today we'll take our clients down to the airport, to the site, to the property site, where you will see beautiful properties that you will choose from. So join us, come to our office at Tombia Extension, GRA Phase 3, Iyanwele in Sirim Layout. I'll go again with the address: Tombia Extension, GRA Phase 3, Iyanwele in Sirim Layout, just before Liverpool Hotel. Or you call me on 070 123 645 10, or you call Miss Bridget on 070-190-57945. I will go again with the numbers. You call me on 070-123-64510, or you call Miss Bridget on 070-190-57945. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. It's good to have you on the show this morning.
Thank you, Ma.
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people.
Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News update.
Hello and good morning. Here's the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I'm Annie Abdul Salam. The leadership of National Youth Council of Nigeria and River State has described as timely the planned security summit by Today FM. The spokesman of NYCN in the state, Modjotho Adoke, in a statement, in an interview with our correspondent, said the summit would not only provide direction, but will also help to salvage the negative effects of insecurity in the state. Adoke, while expressing concern over the level of insecurity in River State, encouraged the AFM organization not to end the summit at the table of discussion, but to go ahead and create opportunities for youth participation and engagements.
The situation in River State and indeed in Niger Delta is not encouraging. As youth leaders, we are looking for partners who will be at the forefront to campaign for peace with us. And what Today FM is doing in initiating this security summit, I think it's an idea that has come at the right time, given the level of insecurity we are facing in River State and its environs. Today FM, I think, have initiated this program to salvage the situation so that our young ones will not lose their life meaninglessly. So I want to encourage and appreciate the management of Today FM for this initiative and to make sure that this initiative does not just end at the table of discussion. They should come up with opportunities for youth leaders to participate and make suggestions on how best we can provide solutions to the lingering security situation in River State and in Niger Delta.
The Code of Conduct Bureau has rejected the Freedom of Information request by an anti-corruption group, Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, demanding specific details of asset declarations submitted to it by presidents and state governors since 1999. The CCB argued that the refusal was on the grounds that producing such information will amount to invasion of the privacy of presidents and governors. The denial followed an FOI request by SERAP in April addressed to the chairman of the CCB, Mohammed Issa, urging him to provide information on asset declarations by presidents and state governors between 1999 and 2019. SERAP also wanted the CCB to provide it with the details of declarations made immediately after taking offices and thereafter, and for those who had left public offices at the end of their terms. According to the Bureau, the CCB could only make them available for inspection by any citizen on such terms and conditions to be prescribed by the National Assembly, and those terms and conditions had yet to be prescribed. The Foreign and Commonwealth Office of the United Kingdom has warned British nationals against traveling to about 21 states in Nigeria over security concerns. This is not unconnected with the worsening security situation occasioned by the Boko Haram terrorist attacks in the northeast, armed banditry in the northwest, and militancy in the south-south. The FCO, in a statement on its website, specifically advised against all travels to Borno, Yobe, Adamawa, Gombe, and the riverine areas of Delta, Rivers, Akwa Ibom, and Cross River State. The British government also cautioned against trips to within 20 kilometers of the border with Niger and Zamfara states. The FCO further advised against all but essential travel to Bauchi, Zamfara, Kano, Jigawa, Katsina, Kogi, and within 20 kilometers of the border with Niger, in Sokoto and Kebbi states, including the non-riverine areas of Delta, Bayelsa, and Abia states. The advisory further warned British nationals to avoid crowds, including political meetings, religious gatherings, and places of worship, markets, shopping malls, hotels, bars, restaurants, transport hubs, and camps for displaced persons. And now to the foreign scene. United States President Donald Trump has formally launched his 2020 re-election campaign in front of a large crowd in Orlando, Florida. The announcement comes amid calls for impeachment, continuing congressional probes into his presidency and administration, and deepening divisions over his hardline immigration policies. Trump's speech also comes as the economy continues to grow and the Republican president maintains deep support among his base. Although the speech is being billed as the official beginning of Trump's 2020 bid, the businessman turned politician filed the paperwork officially announcing his bid within hours of his inauguration on January 20, 2017. He had since held campaign-style rallies throughout the United States. And that wraps the news update here on Today 95.1 FM. Thank you for listening. So have a good morning.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Please listen to this announcement. Jamal Life Helpers Global Foundation presents Financial Steady Income for Life and Executive Business Summit. What are you to expect? Financial education training, fund generation for business and startups, business network and investment opportunity. Who can attend? Civil servants, business owners, university students, business startups, and politicians. Join us this Friday and Saturday at the Suka Hotels Event Center, plot 337 Odili Road, Trans Samadi, after Market Square, adjacent to Hago Heights, Port Harcourt. When exactly? This coming Friday and Saturday, 21st and 22nd of June 2019. The time is for the first day, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And for the second day, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. For any inquiries, call 080-3639-2721 or 080-230-60036 or 070-6580-4412. Limited seats are available. The gate fee is free. This is powered by Jamal Life Helpers Global Foundation.
Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Hello, welcome to Raleigh Academy on Radio. Well, this is an e-business and e-investment education program series brought to you by Raleigh Academy. Raleigh Academy is a company that offers services in online businesses, investment and financial education for anyone that's looking for an opportunity to create a new stream of income or add to their current stream or streams of income. Well, in today's program, we'll continue in our Digital Revolution series and we'll be looking at the topic, Going Global. In the studio with me is an e-trader and an online entrepreneur with Raleigh Academy. He's a London-trained trader. He studied at the London School of Business and Finance and the London Academy of Trading. He also has a certification in technical analysis from FX Wizard in Cyprus. He has over 5 years of experience in technical analysis and trading. He's a dynamic advocate of algorithm trading. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce my guest, Michael Akinwale. Glad to have you join us.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so we'll take a very quick break, and when we return, we'll get to talk about going global. Don't go away. All right, welcome back. You're still listening to Raleigh Academy on radio, and my guest is well in the studio, Michael Akinwale, a guru as long as the internet is concerned, around the world. Let's get to the crux of the matter now. Going global. What's the relationship between the digital revolution and going global?
Okay. Now let me try and break down what digital revolution is. And the digital revolution is also known as the third industrial revolution. And it's actually the shift from mechanical and analog technology of doing business to the use of electronic and digital technology, which actually means doing business with the internet. Now, when it comes to the relationship between this and going global, the major power that comes with digital revolution is the fact that your business is no longer local or in a certain space. Your business can now operate without boundaries, which means with digital revolution, your business can easily go global. So you are not looking at business locally anymore. You are looking at a business at a very, very global scale. And I think everybody right now should take advantage of this revolution to take their business global.
All right, everybody should take advantage. But why does everyone need to go global?
Well, I think it's becoming critical right now. When you take the biggest companies in the world, for instance, take companies like Amazon, Facebook, Apple, the top companies in the world, you understand that what makes them the biggest companies in the world is the fact that these businesses are not operating locally.
Okay.
They have a global market space. For instance, a company like Facebook has over 4 billion people as an audience. Now, there's no country as big as 4 billion. But with the digital revolution, Facebook, for instance, can reach the world. So in the same way, if you actually want to actually set yourself up now to take your business from a local level to a global company, then you need to use this digital revolution to actually move your business, which means now with the digital revolution or by doing your business online, you can increase your client base, which means you can increase your revenue, and then gradually you can turn your business to a multi-million dollar business, which is actually the goal of every business person. Are you getting my point? So that means really, in this day and age, if you really want to make money, then your business cannot be local. Your business has to be global.
All right,
that's
so
why it's critical right now that people actually go global.
getting more interesting. How does one join this digital revolution and go global?
Okay, I think there are two major things I think people need. Number one, not every business can go global. You know, I've tried to do several things in my little time as an entrepreneur, and I discovered that not all business can go global. So the first thing you have to consider when it comes to going global is the choice of business. Okay. There's some businesses that naturally they're already global. So you plug in, you already operate at a global scale. For instance, take e-trading. E-trading is the online or electronic buying and selling of financial instruments in the global financial market.
Okay.
Which means in that market you're already operating globally. So in this market we're looking at things like currency. So you are trading every currency of the world, like dollar, euro, pounds, Japanese yen. All this is already in the global market. Also in that market you can trade commodities, things like gold, cocoa, aluminum, rubber, platinum. From your computer system or your phone or any of these platforms, you can connect to the global market and trade. They will look at shares. When you look at global shares, for instance, you can connect to New York Exchange, London Exchange, German Exchange, New York Exchange. Now, all these things were impossible some years ago. But with the digital revolution right now, even while you are in your car or in your house right now, or even in the toilet, with your phone or your tablet or any other Android device, you can connect to the global market. So, for instance, e-trading takes you global. Then let's go to e-commerce. E-commerce is one of my businesses that I'm actually doing very well in right now.
Okay.
E-commerce is actually buying and selling of tangible products. Things like, for instance, I sell computers online. When I started selling computers online, I had a shop in a small place. And then somebody introduced me to the online platform. And I started selling. Now, you won't believe it. For my space in Lagos here, I have customers from all over Nigeria. Which means my sales is no longer local or it's not statewide. It's now nationwide. Okay. Now, my next goal now is now to move this same business to Africa-wide. From there, I move it to the global wide. So what I'm saying is that e-commerce is actually business one can go into. So look at e-services. How do you put your service online to have a global presence? Now, some of us, for instance, are on social media. Some of us, we have website, but nobody still knows about you. How do you combine social media, combine your website, so that you have a global presence for your business? So for instance, maybe you're a carpenter, or you're an architect, or you are into catering, or you do cakes. That's what I'm saying. You're even a farmer. How can you take this business from that local level to put it at a global stage? That's one of the things we're going to look at each service. So these are some things or some businesses that we believe in Rally Academy can easily take you global.
Now, interesting. So everybody can go global depending on the choice of your business.
Absolutely. And the second thing we normally look at also is education. For you to take your business global, then you need to be properly educated. That's why Mandela said, education is the most powerful weapon which can be used to change the world. So in Rally Academy, the choice of business and getting educated are the two major factors that determines those that succeed when it comes to taking their business global.
All right, so let's look at education now. It's said to be the passport to the future.
Absolutely.
Raleigh Academy is a platform that drives people, educate people.
Absolutely.
Tell us about Raleigh Academy Digital Power Conference that's coming up.
Okay, the Raleigh Academy Digital Power Conference for us is the biggest and most important education and investment event right here in Nigeria and in Africa. All right, and we are calling the Digital Power Conference because knowledge is equals to power. So at this conference, we're going to be training you and putting in your hands the knowledge and the tools that you need to succeed when it comes to taking your business to the global stage. So for instance, in e-trading, at this conference, we're going to be showing you how to open your e-trading account. We're looking at commodities trading, stocks trading, currencies trading. How do you buy and how do you sell? Then when is the best time to buy? When is the best time to sell? If the price of oil is going to appreciate, you buy oil. But the challenge is this: how do you know the price of oil will appreciate? Okay. Because you need to buy it before it appreciates. All these things are going to be showing you how to do. And then what are the tools and strategies? For instance, from my profile, you saw that I've been to London Academy of Trading to go and learn how to trade. It was at London Academy of Trading I discovered also that you also need to have the tools, softwares that people actually put on their phones, on their laptops, that help them in market analysis. All these softwares also, they're going to be at this conference. They'll look at e-commerce. In e-commerce, we're going to show you how to start your e-commerce store and start making some good money for yourself immediately. How to do drop shipping, how to find profitable niches, how to analyze market opportunities, how to define your target customers. All these things we're going to be showing you at this conference. Okay. We'll look at e-services. In e-services, we're going to be showing you how to put your service online and start getting viewership immediately. There are strategies for doing all these things, all right? How to structure your business online so you have a global visibility of your business. All these things are going to be taught at this conference, and I can guarantee you, you can never remain the same.
All right, so what's the requirement to be a part of this conference? Is there a fee attached to it?
Well, like all academic events, this conference is coming to you FOC. That means free of charge.
No money at all.
You don't pay anything. Why? Our goal is to educate Nigerians so that we can empower them with the power that they need to take their business global. All right?
Okay.
So you can be a business person, you can be an employee, you can be an investor, a retiree, a job seeker, even a housewife, even if you're a student. Even if you're computer literate, it's okay. By coming to this conference and coming to learn about computer, then you start using the computer. So the conference is free. Anybody can attend as long as you're willing to start a business online or taking your business global. Then you have to be at this conference.
All right. Willingness to start and a drive to take your business global.
Absolutely.
Key issues. Now, tell us the time, date, and venue of this conference here in Port Harcourt and how people can register to attend.
The conference will be taking place for just one day, one very powerful day right here in the city of Port Harcourt. And the date the conference will be taking place is Friday, the 21st of June, 2019. Let me say that again, Friday, the 21st of June, 2019. And on this day, the time will be from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. From 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So 3 hours of very, very life-changing time. Now, the venue of the event of that will be at L.A. Kings Hotel. L.A. Kings Hotel. The address is 31 Stadium Road, opposite First Bank, right here in the city of Port Harcourt. L.A. Kings Hotel, 31 Stadium Road, opposite First Bank, right here in the city of Port Harcourt. Very popular place, you can't miss it. It's also very important that you start to be at this event so we know you're coming and then we can prepare for you. And to register is very simple. All you need to do is send an SMS to your phone number and your seat will be reserved to be at this event. So take your phone right now, let me show you how to register. To attend, send an SMS to the word PH2. PH2. That's PH for Port Harcourt. And the number 2 to this phone number 0708 955 5992. And that phone number again 0708 955 5992. And let me tell that phone number for the third time for those of us who are just getting it. 0708 955 5992. So send the word PH2 to that phone number, and your seat is reserved to be at this powerful event. And we're at the Academy. We're looking forward to seeing you there. Thank you.
All right, interesting. So what else should participants expect to get at the conference?
Okay, like you know, Raleigh Academy, we're a big advocate for education. But right now, what we're doing, we're all aware we're in the month of June.
Okay.
This is our mid-year edition of our conference, all right? And because it's the mid-year, we're going to be giving out a lot of gifts. And these gifts are not just gifts. These are gifts that are going to empower people to take their business global. So, for instance, number one, we're going to be giving out books. These books, normally, we don't give them out. We don't even sell them. We give them to clients at certain levels. But for some people, we're going to be going on at this conference free with these books. Number two, we're going to be giving out Android phones. These are phones that people can actually use to take their business global. Then also we're going to be giving out trading capital that people can use for their e-trading and start trading immediately. Then we're going to be giving out Android tablets. Those are the bigger devices. Yes. Some people are going to be giving with Android tablets. Then we're also going to give out special bonuses. Now, there's this bonus we normally give out at all our events, but at this conference, we're going to be giving out far bigger bonuses than we normally give out. Then the first 100 people to send SMS to attend this conference, also, you're going to be going with an educational DVD. Because we believe a lot in education, we also believe that the education does not stop at that event.
Okay.
So the first 100 people to send an SMS to register for this event, you're also going with an educational DVD at this event. So begin to send SMS right now to book your seat. And finally, everybody at this event also stand a chance to go with at least 125% bonus.
Wow.
125% bonus. Now, we only give out these bonuses at our event, and it costs to at least 125,000 naira, which one can actually use to start their e-trading business and take himself to the global stage immediately. All these things we have packaged to make sure Nigerians actually take their business global and begin to be financially free very easily.
All right, Raleigh Academy is out to empower Nigerians. That's the way to put it.
Absolutely.
Now, let's run through the dates, the venue, and time of the conference once again, and how participants can register to attend.
The conference will be taking place for just one day, one very powerful day right here in the city of Port Harcourt. And the date the conference will be taking place is Friday, the 21st of June 2019. Let me do that again. Friday, the 21st of June 2019. Let me do that again. Friday, the 21st of June 2019. And on this day, the time will be from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. From 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So 3 hours of very, very life-changing time. Now, the venue of the event on that day will be at L.A. Kings Hotel. L.A. Kings Hotel. The address is 31 Stadium Road, opposite First Bank, right here in the city of Port Harcourt. L.A. Kings Hotel, 31 Stadium Road, opposite First Bank, right here in the city of Port Harcourt. Very popular place, you can't miss it. It's also very important that you start to be at this event, so we know you're coming, and then we can prepare for you. And to register is very simple. All you need to do is send an SMS to your phone number, and your seat will be reserved to be at this event. So take your phone right now. Let me show you how to register. To attend, send an SMS to the word PH2. PH2. That's PH for Port Harcourt. And the number 2 to this phone number 0708 955 5992. And that phone number again 0708 955 5992. And let me tell that phone number for the third time for those of us who are just getting it. 0708 955 5992. So send the word PH2 to that phone number, and your seat is reserved to be at this powerful event. And we're at the Academy. We're looking forward to seeing you there. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Michael Akinwale, for coming on the show. It's been a great time having you today.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, Michael Akinwale, once again.
Thank you.
All right, see you next time. Take this opportunity and go global.
Hi, Mommy.
Hello, my love. Missing me already?
Yes, Mommy. When are you coming?
Aw, next week, darling. And I'll be bringing delicious meals for you and all your friends.
Okay, Mommy. I can't wait to see you. Love you.
Love you too.
She says she's bringing food next week.
All of you, keep quiet. Oh yeah, fetch my water now. I can't be late for assembly.
Yes, SP.
Tunde, you're exempted.
Good taste creates great memories. Relive the memory of delicious meals cooked with Mr. Chef's Seasoning Cubes. Available in multiple variants. Mr. Chef's Seasoning Cubes are available at your nearest market or superstore. Mr. Chef's Seasoning Cubes, creating delightful memories.
Today's quest. All the news and information you need in one go. Get started with the best of sports, lifestyle, analysis, and Annie.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
Can you feel it? Wake up to Today's Quest with Annie on Today 95.1 FM from 6 to 11 a.m. weekdays. Fantastic.
The situation is critical.
The issues are diverse.
You see, courtesan in quote is the surname of all other criminalities. But this year, courtesan has a new child known as banditry.
I'm sure you are aware that the 6th Division of Nigeria Army is court-martialing some of its officers for being involved in kidnapping.
There is a consciousness that is going on that if you are into this thing, you become a supreme being.
The whole criminality we are seeing, especially as they occur in Rivers State, they revolve around culture.
So what if you are volunteering information to an accomplice?
In seeking a solution, the Today FM Anti-Cultism Summit comes up on the 6th of July, time 9 a.m. Keynote speakers are Amalpu Senibo Bobo Sophie Brown, Professor Chief Andrew Efemini, Retired Colonel Owunda, Professor Austin Sadden, and Ken Henshaw of We the People. Also on the table will be representatives of stakeholders and the various organs of influence that can help deal with the stemming tide of cultism. Keep the date, 6th of July 2019, 9 a.m. Let's fight cultism together.
Opinion poll on today's quest.
More than 3 over 4 of the loots we are talking about in this country today were loots within the 16 years.
Here is a great opportunity to sample all our opinions on the issues raised. And Port Harcourt says the PDP is trying to divert our attention because Nigerian funds was looted by the PDP. Melody in Uniport says Madam Jonah is yet to come in terms of the fact that her tenure has expired. Annie, please tell him that investigation is not what you make public until the final stage. Send your opinion to us on Facebook,
www.facebook.com/Today95.1fm.
or on Twitter @TodayFM951. You can also sample your opinions with us on WhatsApp or on our SMS portal using the numbers 070-1933-9962.
Institutionalizing the national agenda.
Yes, come together, get traditional rulers, religious leaders, labor, business community, the youth, even the army, bring them all together. Let's come together with the national agenda of what we want in this country. For instance, in Rwanda, it's a law that nobody sleeps in mad houses.
Nobody.
You don't build a mad house. You pull it down. It's against the law. Let's have a national agenda as a people that we work on. And let's agree that the next 25 years, there will be no, what do you call it, every 4 years election. No election. 25 years, no election.
This is serious.
Every 5 years.
I like that.
Every 5 years, we should appoint a president.
Appoint
a president from among
the people.
The parties that have formed a national coalition. So these 5 years is your party.
Next 5 years.
Next 5 years is our party.
25 years.
Yes. And
no election.
No election.
No party politics.
No party
no
politics. No rallies. And our agenda is follow, execute, perform the national agenda for the sake of the next generation. What we are doing right now, we are not going anywhere.
We are not.
Watch this. I'm telling you, what we are doing right now, I want you to stand. Let me show you something. Just stand. If I'm in opposition, just face this way. If I'm in opposition and you are in office, I hold your leg like that. Try to move.
Yeah.
Try to move.
I cannot move.
Try to do something. You are not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I will make sure I circumvent you and sabotage you until you leave office.
Wow.
And when you also come,
same thing.
I will also do the same to you. So I don't wish you well, you don't wish me well. So the nation is bleeding. The nation is bleeding and no continuity, because when you come, everything I've done, you have to condemn it. and let the people know that I was a failure, I was a disappointment, and you have come to fix it. Then when you come and face the reality of what is on the ground, you realize that it's not easy to fix this thing. And then I'm also going to make sure I expose you and let people know that you circumvented me to come, so you must not succeed. And I'll make sure you fail, so I'll come again. So the vindictiveness continues, the hatred continues, the bitterness continues. We are dividing people. I have people in this church who are family. Some are NDC, some are MPP, and sometimes it's amazing to see how they relate to one another.
Because of politics.
Because of politics. We are dividing the churches. The churches are divided. Husband and wives. One is NDC, one is MPP.
Brothers.
And sisters. And the hatred and the bitterness and sometimes the arguments. The way they argue and the things they say. Are people in this church MPP people in this church, when NDC was in office and I used to pray for President Mahama, you should see how they attacked me. They used to come to my office here and attack me and say, what is your problem? And some people will even tell you, stop praying for them. Let them fail. When we come, we'll fix the problem. And I look at them and I say, what kind of a thinking is this? Now that NDC is gone and MPP has come, and I'm praying based on scripture, it's a command. And the Bible said, the prophet Samuel said, he said, woe is me to sin against the Lord by not praying for you. And he says, sin not to pray for your leaders. And it's clear in the New Testament and the Old Testament. But there are Christians in this church, in my own churches, who, because of their political parties and what they believe their parties can accomplish and everything, praying for the present government, are angry with me. Really? And yeah, they're angry and they tell me. They're angry with me. And some of them say, I don't even pay my tithe.
So you think we should do this 25-year plan?
We have to do it. Because you know what it is.
Okay, and that will form the base for our opinion poll this morning. That was a pastor from Ghana, and he was speaking about the politics of the day. And for him, it was a vision for Africa, not necessarily Ghana. And he says because he's been able to witness the sort of politics that we have on the African continent, and that is politics of vindictiveness. And we will always pull the next person down because we want everybody to assume that we are the superheroes, we are the solution. And what he proposed was a coalition, some sort of national coalition. And that in that national coalition, all political groups will collide into that national coalition. Of course, you're going to have according to him, people from the religious group Labour and Security, they will all form part of the coalition with political parties, and everybody will be able to nominate one person from a political party from the national coalition for a term of, say, 5 years, for a 25-year agenda. But the coalition will come with a single agenda that the country is supposed to embark upon for the next 25 years to be able to pull herself out of the doldrums she's found herself. Because obviously you find that it's the same thing perhaps all parties want. We want Nigerians to stop suffering. We want agriculture to prosper. We want to have better electricity. That's what they all tell us each time they come, but we find it difficult each time they come into power. For this pastor, he believes it's because there are people who will try to circumvent their progress. There are people who will try to be stumbling blocks in the process so that their governments can fail and people will vote them into power, and then the circle continues. So he says to break away from that, political parties, security outfit, religious groups, Labour, national coalition is formed. From there, every 5 years, a leader is chosen who continues on that agenda. You do not deviate from the agenda that has been set for the 25 years close. Well, do you think this can work? Do you think this is a way possible? Is this a way out of the very vindictive kind of politics that we have? He mentioned something about when you hear politicians speak or people who support parties speak, and I've heard that a lot. You hear somebody who is from the APC speak against something that the PDP is doing, or the people of the PDP, and it's almost as if they're dehumanizing that person. Likewise for the PDP. The PDP acts like the people in the APC don't exist. They're not humans. They are children of darkness. I've heard that in several times. And you begin to wonder, how do we move away from this and get to nation building if at each time anybody is in power, the next move we're seeking is how to pull that government down, how to truncate it so that I and my party can come on board and then rescue Nigeria or rescue my people. That's what we're looking at. So I'll start with Emmanuel Ndukwe.
Well, listening to that particular pastor there, there are certain few points he made that stand out very well for me. Like position of a national agenda, which is just national agenda for all that will be in the coalition. And appointment of the president from amongst those the coalition party. And remember that no one is going to do any other thing than what has been agreed. I think if such happens, it will remove all these bickerings. Because if you see, take Nigeria, for instance, as the APC is in power, the PDP does not want to hear anything about APC. Even if what the government has come up is very correct. No, the PDP does not. Because to them, it is perhaps the devil himself. And let's say the PDP takes over. APC does not want to hear anything from the PDP. And that is why we have said, there's something he mentioned also about in a family. Husband and wife will be at each other's throat politically because they belong to different political parties. That is also true. I have seen a family where one person belonged to APC, others belong to PDP. The other brothers do not treat this one as coming from the same blood with themselves. Then when I went there, I said, have you seen how party has reduced you people to nothing? We that don't belong to this party, I know that you and these and all of you, you are 7. All of you are from the same parents. And see how you are treating yourself. Because this one will not listen to you. You will not listen to this person. Meanwhile, all of you are living in the same compound. So I think I agree with the national agenda. It's not as if humans will bring any solution to every problem on this earth. But with that, I always tell you that there is power in unity. If there is such an agenda, and everybody that comes that is appointed for 5 years will key into that singular agenda, I don't think there will be a deviation, and there won't be these bickerings. It will move well. But can it be said to be democratic?
Yeah, is it not democratic?
Yes, it's not, because, you see...
Why is it not democratic then?
Good. By appointment. By appointment, not through election. Not through popular participation. Because when you are talking about the coalition, it will still come through political parties. Or each one, perhaps if they are nominating 5 and all that, it's not from the grassroots. It is the highest echelon of parties that will sit and say, we bring 5 persons like that, all of them form that coalition. And from the pool of that coalition, you'll be drawing 25 years each.
But there's a single agenda. Good. Regardless who you are, there is a single agenda.
Yes. But remember that majority rule or majority participation is the hallmark of democracy. It's not there. It is through the political parties.
What then will be democracy if it cannot deliver on what your ideals are?
Yes, I think it requires fine-tuning. But if it veers off from participation through elections, where there will be, at least as we believe, because you remember that votes don't count in this country. I'm not talking about Ghana, but in this country, votes don't count. And once votes don't count, so that popular participation has been removed from the people. Yet, because of the name, elections, democracy, people will say, yes, there was an election, whether it counts or not. And in that, we wear the insignia of popular participation. But once you make it through coalition, like we always get from the Israeli government and all that, it is the parties that bring the people, and they will stay there together. But Is democracy the best form of government? For me, I would say no. The only thing that makes it look like is the best is this the participation of the majority, at least as we believe. But in practice in Nigeria, no.
All right, we got your thoughts on that. Let's get to Fine Fish in a minute. Fine Fish, what
Yes.
say it thou?
Annie, I have heard people talk about something like pastors from hell. I think this particular pastor is from heaven. And he has the message that the Lord has deposited in him, and he has passed that message on to the people. And that message, like it is always been, like research, it's not a conclusion, a kind of conclusive process. It's a process that is ongoing. Now, he has touched on some things we have been talking about in the past. Now, I remember that some time ago I've mentioned in this studio the need for us to have something like continuity in government. And we should have a development plan. That agenda he's talking about is a kind of development plan. People going to the center, coming together from various sectors of the society, various walks of life, has a kind of government I can call a unitary system of government. People should unite at that level. And then the process of appointing, that he said, of a person that will now lead to implement the development plan is through another process that is, and that can be likened to a kind of electoral college. And that happens when people are gathered and then choose somebody among themselves to lead. Then you have another element of parliamentary system of government also infused into that process. Now, liking this from this and picking little things from this, democratic process means that is involved in this is the fact that for people to gather from these various political parties, they are representing a people. And before you are choosing to come to that table where everybody is gathered, the process of your selection to appear on that table is democratic because you'll be elected by your people to go there or nominated by your people to go there and form that system of government. So every part of it has elements of different forms of government that makes it democratic and something that could be accepted by the people. In Nigeria, we have demonstrated something liking to this when we had the national conference. You know, the national conference was supposed to look at issue of people being elected from different constituencies in the country to gather at that level and perform some function in the interest of the nation. So I think it's an idea that we can go by. Because a situation whereby if you get to power as QBC, you start destroying something that QSY did is not something we can go by. Development roll back and people keep rigmaroling and nothing is achieved. The same thing happens in different institutions and departments of government. When you come into office, you see that vendetta, effort of not letting what the other person has done to be consolidated on because you don't want that person's name to come on. Check our various states in the federation. You see that different projects that were started by different governors that are no longer in office are abandoned. And then they begin to project their own idea. That makes us not to go anywhere. But what we are talking about here is that River State, for instance, or Nigeria, for instance, we say, okay, in 25 years, this is what we are going to achieve. In order to achieve this in 25 years, we make bring out a blueprint on how we are going to get there, including the cost we need, the resources and the personnel we need to drive that process. And then we put it into a law.
Yeah.
And all we need to do is to get somebody that can drive that process. While the resources that will go into that development is already earmarked. And all you need to do when the time comes, the money is needed just to approve. And that project begins to run independently without you coming into office and making any fundamental change that will derail that plan. All you need to do is that if you are sensible enough, you are experienced enough on that area, you suggest little changes that can be made. And the people that made that plan will come to the table, you present that idea. It is adjusted based on the passage of time and we can move forward. I think it's a good idea and it's something that I think even if it is not adopted at the federal level, it could be adopted at the state level. And even if we have president in office, we have governors in office or local government in office, we should bring up that kind of plan where we put people together. We say this is where we want to go to. They bring idea together and the chief executive begins to implement that idea. And I think we can get there.
All right. Your thoughts on that? Obitima, over to you.
Yes, and for me, the postulation appear not to be very clear to me. It falls within the realm of utopianism because I don't know, he did not really mention what that system is. And he did not also take into consideration so many variables in terms of the diverse ethnic and tribal setting within African continent. Let me even put it. Let me use.
Let's limit it to Nigeria. Yeah.
As a reference point. Nigeria, with its diverse ethnic setting, how will it work? If you say you're bringing people from the political parties have a national agenda, and the political party like a coalition, if this party comes and drive for 5 years, the other party comes. Supposing party A, brings somebody maybe from Fulani to drive for the next 5 years, how would the party B, where would they bring their own destiny so that others will not agitate that it is our own, we are being marginalized, we are being a kind of taken away from the political equation of the scheme of things in this country.
Okay, hold on. Let me just say this. I don't want to interject. I really wanted to have a free flow, but I'm thinking that the root cause of marginalization might not necessarily be, not a shot at leadership, but that they don't believe that they get the investments from the country itself.
Yes, because this is what we are saying, because the investment or getting investment for their people or a kind of taking development to such area, yes, it's part of it. But positions also is also part of it. You see, we are humans. It's not like in families. We have not really developed to the point that these civilized nations, America, UK, and all those people, don't mind whoever that is at the helm of affairs, we're not gotten there. We're here to get there. But even at that, there's still a kind of guide certain of their inherited values that they will not want anything to disrupt it. Why is it that our system is not working? It's not because of even opposition. Opposition in a democratic setting, which we are operating presently, until we change that ideology of democracy and come up with a different program, which he did not really mention, then it becomes difficult for us to key into what he's saying. Take for example UK. I followed the debate on Brexit. I followed it on regular basis, and the way the Labour Party we are hitting on Theresa May. In fact, at a point, I said, let this woman not even faint and collapse that in the parliament there. But the system was still going on. It did not see UK burning. It did not hear that it got a point, maybe in this time you hear the Queen trying to want to intervene. We didn't hear that. We didn't see it. But the debate was going. And what are they doing? To get the best for the general good of the people. And that's why in a democratic setting, opposition, that is the duty of the opposition. Yes, even if you are trying to pull the government down, and they try to put the government down, all that government that is right there presently should do is to do all they can to ensure that their work, their performance will speak for them. Because it's the people that will evaluate what we are doing, not even the opposition. So the opposition is to do this thing. Let's take example of America. We have two main political parties in America. And is the system not working? It's working. Because of the things they put in place. Not because of persons, not because of political parties, but because of the structure they put in place that made the system to run. That even if Donald Trump, as the president of the country, decide to stay in the hospital for 1 year, nothing will happen to the American system of governance. But unlike here, where you see the president of a country, immediately gets there is the emperor, and anybody from his region rejoices because there is this expectation that yes, our person is there, but not a kind of thinking that that person that is there for the entire country, not for a region.
Okay.
So I don't quite buy into his idea,
Okay.
the idea of the pastor.
All right.
But let us do the needful to get our system working.
All right, then. We got your thoughts on that. I guess for the pastor, this was to jumpstart the system. He says because the system as it were now, no group will allow the other get the better hand because each feels that they are better than each other.
And that is the truth.
And that they would not allow, even if there were good things they were doing, they'll continue to be a force that will circumvent that. And in order to take away those chains, form a coalition of some national unity or something, and from that system begin to get leaders who will work on a plan that everybody has come together to agree upon. All right, let me get to Dr. Manuel Warner. He's a lecturer of political science, Uniport, joining us this morning. Good to have you here.
Thank you very much, Annie.
Okay, Dr. Warner.
Yes, I think that the pastor spoke with the spirit of nationhood. You know, a nation is said to be a group of people that have common language, common culture, and even common ancestral legend, and all those common. You can see the word common. What it means, therefore, is that they are sharing everything common. There is the spirit of brotherhood, to the extent that everybody is his or her brother's keeper. There is communal life. There is that tendency for people to live concerted life to achieve the desired aims and objectives for themselves. Spirit of nationhood. And that is why, we have, actually borrowed that to take effect in a society that's plural, where, for instance, in Nigeria, we now form what we call nation state. Nigeria, for instance, is a nation state because it operates within the ambit of a plural system where you have different component, units, different component groups competing for the state's scarce resources. And so what it means, therefore, is that we must have established rules and regulations. We must have ethics of conduct. We must have very good questions to national questions we need to answer. And so it's important that within the context of group theory, we need to have those established rules and regulations that can bind us together. In other words, we need to import those variables we find in a nation into our nation state so that we can live as a people. But, when I listened to what the pastor was saying, he said they are going to form a coalition. And already he has also stated that we have people who wouldn't understand themselves. They want to pull this person down and the other person down. And I begin to wonder, how do they even form that coalition in the first instance? Because for you to form a coalition, you must have an understanding. You must have, decided to come together to form a coalition, okay? But in a situation where...
I would think that would be the first problem. And if that hurdle is passed, everybody within that system will fall in line.
That's what I'm saying.
First hurdle, the only hurdle will be to agree that this is the way forward.
Yes, and that's why I said that. That's why I'm of the opinion that forming the coalition, is not just the first solution to the problem. There is more to that formation of coalition. And that's the point I'm driving at.
Okay, what's the point?
Where
What else?
you actually need to have, national ethos. You need to have people change their orientation and mentality, the way they think about others, the way they think about themselves. And of course, there is need to actually inculcate in themselves that spirit of statesmanship. That spirit of statesmanship that sees other people irrespective of your political cleavage or ethnic cleavage or wherever you come from, that sees you as, look, first of all, you are a Nigerian, for instance. You need to have that spirit. You need to have that value inculcated into individuals. Otherwise, forming a coalition
How does that happen? Is there any place where we go get that spirit?
Yeah.
No. The question is, how does that happen? Is there a place where the spirit of oneness is that we need to go pluck from?
Yeah, you see, you know that, for instance, if you look at the political history of Nigeria, you understand that we had some hiccups in the process, which of course infused this kind of um, bad blood into the political system. But you know, as a people, we need to. It's not something that is impossible. As a people, given the exigencies of the moment, we need to also begin to think, you know, ask ourselves some fundamental question. It's not as if somebody else will come from anywhere. There's a point where you need to have a revolution. There's a point where you need to have a breakup from the what you have been having in the past and have a new thinking, a new life. There must be a point like that.
You know,
What human being? So,
I think even in places where you think the people are united, and where you find that there's a spark for a revolution or a change to system, it's because they've become disenchanted with the system.
Exactly.
It's because the system has failed them.
Exactly.
So even for us here that we feel we're so disunited, I think that the reason why we feel so is because the system has not worked for us at all. And I believe that once we get a system that begins to work for us and we clearly see that it is working for us, it's not going to be very difficult for me to see another person who comes from Kagoro and think that's my brother. It's not going to be very difficult for me to embrace a Yoruba man and see that's my brother, because I don't feel that need to identify solidly with myself because I need to make gains from a system for myself and my own.
exactly. You see, revolution comes, you know, as a process. You know, when people are stretched to the point where they can no longer bear it, they'll be forced, naturally speaking, to begin to do things that will pull them out of that kind of a situation. So it's a spectrum, you know, move from point A even to point Z or Y, and at a point people begin to realize that, look, enough of this mess. Let's begin to do something, you know, that will bring us. For instance, you already know that in Nigeria, it's no longer too fascinating that because you are a Yoruba man, and so you cannot be the president of Nigeria. It's no longer fascinating, because I raised a point here when I was talking about class, elite class, and something like that. You know, it has got a point where people no longer consider the fact that you are not from my village, but what they are considering is, what interest am I getting if you are the governor or president of this country? So the point I'm making is that, you see, it will now play down the impact of ethnicity to the point that people will now say, okay, where do I get my own daily bread? Not minding what happens to other people. So if that also continues, it will get to a point where the larger society, the mass of the people, will also be so marginalized that they will be forced to begin to do something that will also change the society. Look at what happened in China during Mao Zedong. It got a point where the people could no longer bear it. And who are the people that affected the revolution in China? They are peasants, ordinary peasants, who trekked miles to effect it. So the point I'm making is that, you know, when you ask how do we affect the change, I'm saying that it will get a point where these negative tendencies will begin to have positive response from the people who could no longer bear it anymore. And of course, they will begin to play down all those hiccups and impediments that have stood their way, you know, that stood in the way or in the march to nationhood. And they begin to do things, naturally speaking, to ensure that there is that revolution, a fundamental breakaway from what they used to have in the past, you know. So, but from the pastor's postulations, it's quite obvious that, you know, he had that spirit of nationhood, no doubt. But again, I think that the more fundamental thing is for him to begin to also emphasize on the need to proselytize the minds of the people. To thank God he has said it, that thing has also crept into his church. Of course, religion is politics. You expect that those human beings who are your church members are also members of the larger society. And so they draw inspiration from what is also happening in the larger society. And that can also affect the church.
You know, okay,
but again,
but I think, this is my thinking.
Yeah.
That if you're in a society where there's that sort of national coalition, where in that coalition, and I'm using Nigeria for example, you have the APC and the PDP being the major political parties in Nigeria,
Yeah.
forming that form of base or the system that governs it all, from which leaders eventually emerge year in, year out. I will not antagonize as much as I will now the PDP person if I'm in APC, because the government of the day is neither his nor mine.
Yeah, and when you talk about coalition, recall that in the First Republic, MPC had a coalition government with NCNC. And of course, that coalition was quite ephemeral, you recall. And you know...
What year did you say that was?
Huh?
What year?
The First Republic in this country, Nigeria. Okay. MPC formed a coalition with the NCNC, recall that time. And of course, that, coalition was quite ephemeral. Quite ephemeral in the sense that, the mindset of members of NCNC was not just for national development. Some of them had that kind of selfish interest. So the point I'm making in essence is that for you to form a coalition, there must be an understanding. You must have an understanding.
We'll get back to this one. We'll come back to Emmanuel. I know you want to say something. Yeah. Just hold on to it, please.
Certainly.
After the news updates, we'll get back to it. Thank you very much.
Are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Whether it's happening in Port Harcourt, South, Nigeria, or around the world, we've got you covered. On air, online, delivering balanced news and unbiased analysis. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News update.
Hello and good morning. Here's the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I am Annie Abdul Salam. The International Federation of Women Lawyers, FIDA, in Rivers State has elected a new executive committee after a keenly contested election. Pastor Ngozi Odukwe Igoseve emerged chairperson of the body, while Nena Ibokwe won the position of vice chairperson. Esther Mbadege and Mercy Damina emerged secretary and assistant secretary respectively. Stephanie Bewulu emerged publicity secretary. Goma Ohochuku, treasurer. Blessing Ahunanya, financial secretary, while Sarah Emmanuel Apia emerged the new welfare secretary. The leadership of National Youth Council of Nigeria and River State has described as timely the planned anti-cultism security summit by Today FM. The spokesman of the NYCN in the state, Mojoto Adoke, in an interview with our correspondent, said the summit will not only provide direction, but will help salvage the negative effects of insecurity in the state. Adoke, while expressing concern over the level of insecurity in River State, encouraged Today FM organization not to end the summit at the table of discussion, but to go ahead and create opportunities for youth participation and engagements.
The situation in River State and indeed in Niger Delta is not encouraging. As youth leaders, we are looking for partners who will be at the forefront to campaign for peace with us. And what Today FM is doing in initiating this security summit, I think it's an idea that has come at the right time, given the level of insecurity we are facing in River State and its environs. Today FM, I think, have initiated this program to salvage the situation so that our young ones will not lose their life meaninglessly. So I want to encourage and appreciate the management of Today FM for this initiative and to make sure that this initiative does not just end at the table of discussion. They should come up with opportunities for youth leaders to participate and make suggestions on how best we can provide solutions to the lingering security situation in River State and in Niger Delta.
The Code of Conduct Bureau has rejected a freedom of information request by an anti-corruption group, Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, demanding specific details of asset declarations submitted to it by presidents and state governors since 1999. The CCB argued that the refusal was on the grounds that producing such information will amount to invasion of the privacy of presidents and governors. The denial followed an FOI request by Serap in April addressed to the chairman of the CCB, Mohammed Issa, urging him to provide information on asset declarations by president and state governors between 1999 and 2019. Serap also wanted the CCB to provide it with details of declarations made immediately after taking offices and thereafter, and for those who had left public offices at the end of their terms. According to the Bureau, the CCB could only make them available for inspection by any citizen on such terms and conditions to be prescribed by the National Assembly, and those terms and conditions had yet to be prescribed. Meanwhile, human rights lawyer Femi Falana has condemned the Code of Conduct Bureau over its refusal to grant a freedom of information request by Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project on the ground that the asset declaration form is a private information. He described the ground as illogical. Falana, in a keynote address at Stakeholders Dialogue on Corruption in Nigeria held in Kano, said the federal government has also failed to show commitment to the fight against corruption by encouraging secrecy with respect to asset declaration by public officers. The senior advocate also advised the government to utilize the loot recovered from treasury looters in addressing poverty and security challenges in the country. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, has reaffirmed the House's commitment to hit the ground running in terms of electoral reforms. According to a statement by the Speaker's aide, SMAT, Lariwaju, said Gbajabiamila made the promise while receiving the European Union Election Observer Team on Nigeria and ECOWAS in Abuja, stating that election is the bedrock of any democracy. The Speaker said that there is desire to get the process right and commended the EU for its efforts in that direction. United Nations extrajudicial executions investigator Agnes Callamard is set to release a report on the killing of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi today. Callamard, who has led an international inquiry into Khashoggi's killing in the Saudi consulate in Istanbul last October, said after a visit to Turkey this year that the evidence pointed to a brutal crime planned and perpetrated by Saudi officials. Khashoggi's remains have been...
2nd June 2019 in Ifoko town. 7 a.m. body leaves Telemai Piri Mortuary, Abalama. 8 a.m. body leaves maternal home. 9 a.m. body arrives paternal home. 11 a.m. funeral service at St. James African Church. 1 p.m. inhumation at Ifoko Cemetery. Signed for the families, Chief Honorable Justice Adolphus Botoye Karibi White, retired. Chief Fubara Kalasuku. Chief Allen Flag. Chief-elect Asobia Japilot. Elder Suku Tom Suku. Elder Telema Alfin. Professor Ibisime Etela, Chief Murna. May the gentle soul of his departed servant rest in the bosom of the Lord.
The situation is critical. The issues are diverse.
You see, courtesan in quote is the surname of all other criminalities. But this year, courtesan has a new child known as banditry.
I'm sure you are aware that the 6th Division of Nigeria Army is court-martialing some of its officers for being involved in kidnapping.
There is a consciousness that is going on that if you're into this thing, you become a supreme being.
The criminality we are seeing, especially as they occur in River State, they revolve around culture.
So what if you are volunteering information to an accomplice?
In seeking a solution, the Today FM Anti-Cultism Summit comes up on the 6th of July, time 9 a.m. Keynote speakers are Amalpu Senibo Bobo Sophie Brown, Professor Chief Andrew Efemini, Retired Colonel Owunda, Professor Austin Sadu, and Ken Henshaw of We the People. Also on the table will be representatives of stakeholders and the various organs of influence that can help deal with the stemming tide of cultism. Keep the date, 6th of July 2019, 9 a.m. Let's fight cultism together.
This is Today 95.1 FM. To copy this tune, press 9.
This is Today 95.1 FM.
For current news and information, press 5.
They are politicians, all of them. They know what they do.
So they know how they attack each other.
To stay connected all day, press 1.
The person who raised the alarm is the one who made the public know about
Good afternoon and welcome to the World News on your Premium Talk Radio.
We are your premium talk radio station. Today 95.1 FM, the station with a unique dial.
All right, it's 12 minutes after 10, and I have representatives of IML and Wealth Academy here with me this morning. I've got Collins and Ikem. Good to have you both.
Thank you.
All right, and Collins, so have you been... Okay, I remember last time you told me you're more of the New York time, right?
Well, today
That's in the
I
afternoon.
decided to trade the London session. I've done my 20 pips. Just while I was sitting outside there, I
Really?
made my 20 pips, yes.
Okay, good.
And I'm done for the day.
Wow. So
Yes.
tell us a bit about this.
Yes. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Port Harcourt. I am super fired up to be here. I'm so elated to be here. I bring you good news from iMarkets Life Wealth Academy. Now, iMarkets Life is an educational platform that teaches people how to trade in the world's largest money market, that is the Forex market. And Wealth Academy partners with iMarkets Life to bring this education to Nigerians. Now, some people may ask, what is Forex? Well, Forex simply means foreign exchange. It is one country's currency trading against the other country's currency. Now, it might interest you to know that you are a Forex trader. Yes, you are a Forex trader. This comes in two forms. If you have ever exchanged the Naira for any country's currency before, or you have exchanged any country's currency for the Naira before, you just traded Forex. Now, if you have a bank account, secondly, you are a Forex trader. Not intentionally, though, because what the banks do is they take the bulk of your money in your accounts and they trade with the money every single day, and they make profits from your money. Now, it is found that up to 60% of the bank's profit comes from the Forex market. By 12 midnight, they take your money and they trade with it in the Forex market in the Asian session, and they return your money before 6 in your account without you knowing. Now, you want to come and learn how you can trade in this world's largest money market, where $5.3 trillion is done every single day in turnover. Who trades Forex? This is for those that have said over time that Forex is a scam. Well, it might interest you to know that the American government trades Forex. The Nigerian government trades Forex. The Canadian government, the Switzerland government, they all trade Forex. The banks. These are big players in the Forex market. You have to come learn how you can trade in this market, how you can be profitable while trading in this market. Now, this is the education that iMarkets Life brings to the table. The education of the Forex market. We take you literally by the hand through mentoring, take you by the hand and walk you through this seemingly complex industry. The Forex market is where the wealthy multiply their money. You have to come and learn how you can trade in this market. That is Robert Kiyosaki in his book, The Cash Flow Quadrant. Now, wisdom is simplifying complicated things, and that is why IML has put together a system that analyzes the market for you. All you literally have to do is copy and paste. IML says, hey, you want to learn how you can trade in this market, but can you earn some money? Can we help you earn some money, sir? Well, you can learn while you earn. Because if you take away the letter L from the word learn, you have earned. So while you're learning, you can earn some money. And that is what IML does. Now, what is the meaning of system? System simply means save yourself time, energy, and money. And that is what IML has put together to make sure that you save yourself some time, energy, and a whole lot of money. Now, there are products in the IML that are mind-blowing, that are off the edge, and it is amazing what the results have been like. It is amazing the results have been coming in, and it is we have the IML harmonic scanner where you apply the Hosea strategy. You have the IML teacup where you apply the M4 M50 strategy. Now, the trades I took this morning was from the M4 M50 strategy. I trade using the harmonic scanner, the Hosea strategy, but today I decided to do something different, and I have made my 20 pips. If you're into the Forex market, you know what that means. I've done my deal for the day.
And that's it. You
And
carry
that's
on
it.
with other business.
Carry on with other businesses. And I just graduated school, not even gone for my youth service, and I am learning this skill. I am still learning, and I am earning while I'm learning. You too can learn this skill for yourself.
So this means that no matter where you get posted to eventually, you can still...
I can still make money anywhere. Even if I travel out of the country today, I can still make money anywhere I am.
Fantastic.
Now, this skill has made the difference for me. It has transformed my life. It has given me a new purpose. You want to come and learn how you can trade in this market? My brother with me here in the studio, it has also transformed his life. You want to hear from him.
Good morning, Port Harcourt. I'm so fired up to be here. It's so wonderful. It's another wonderful Wednesday. You know, something happened yesterday.
Yeah,
you know, while we were on the training session, you know, we had
the live trading,
a mentoring session yesterday, and you know, while we were there, we looked at the teacup, and gold was ready, and everybody was fired up. Some people made $200.
Yes.
Some people made, you know, $100. Even there were a few persons that yesterday was their first time to trade, you know, ever, and they got $18. Some got $10. They were excited because they are seeing the reality. I got $90-something yesterday.
Trading gold.
Trading gold. Gold
For those who are in the forest market, they will know what we are talking about. So this is too good to be true. I will want to say this. Before now, nobody ever believed that we will use ATM, go to any spot, and then we get money. It was not possible. But technology is changing it. Nobody ever believed that someday you could use your phone and then you send money to someone outside the state. So things are changing. Don't sit back there and say, is it real? Is it possible? Technology is really people are making researches every day. The way forex trading is being done before is no longer the way it's being done now. It's really changing. My brother talked about the teacup. The teacup is amazing. Can you watch out for a blue and a black line to touch? It doesn't need you to go to school. Anybody can do this. We have Amos, an illiterate. He makes almost $300 per day. Amos, who stopped in secondary school. He didn't even finish the secondary school.
Tell me about that.
But he was introduced, and then he came to learn. When I came to IML, just for those who think this is for, the broke people. I am an IT professional. I also teach, I consult. OCP, MCS, CCNA, CCMP, Comtier A+, Comtier N+, MOS, CBG. Those who are in the professional IT, if you know what I'm talking about. So it's not really a business for the broke people. The big boys also play here. The banks, the governments, even our Lamido Sanusi, the former CBN governor, those are what they do. So we want to encourage you. We want to, bring you into the mentoring session that we have tomorrow, Thursday, 20th of June. Time is by 11 a.m. Thursday, 20th of June. Time, 11 a.m. Just SMS wealth to 070 39 11 8224. SMS the word wealth to 070 39 11 8224. The venue is Sweet Spirit Hotel and Suite, number 79 Kent Sarawiwa Way, former Stadium Road. Sweet Spirit Hotel and Suites, 79 Kent Sarawiwa Way, former Stadium Road, Port Harcourt. We are